you know, we're working for HBO, for HBO Video, which is the division of HBO that creates and releases the DVDs. Rita and I have known each other since she was a freshman in college and I was a junior.
Okay.
So we met in the early 70s. Then we met in 1973. And we've known each other ever since. And she and I made a film together years ago in the, I guess it was the early 80s. We made a film together called Abortion Clinic, which was shown on Frontlines for a season on PBS. And it's the story of a clinic in Chester, Pennsylvania. So she and I have been really close friends.
And that's the bulk of your work has been like PBS kind of stuff, right? Until you got into. Was this the first break into this DVD extra things?
It is.
Through this? Yeah.
It is, and it is largely because of, you know, I've known David for 30 years. So, you know, I think we got this opportunity largely because we've known them a long time.
Right.
You know, they know and respect our work and of course, trust us. And so when it came time to... I mean, this whole thing started when I first heard that David was thinking about doing a series on Deadwood. It occurred to me that it was a great opportunity to do a nonfiction companion piece to the series, and I talked to him about that idea, and he liked it. So we were actually talking initially about doing a full broadcast documentary, and he pitched that to HBO, and at the beginning of the first season they weren't very interested. But I think they wanted to see how the series did before they decided what kind of commitment they wanted to make to any other kind of materials associated with it.
Right.
So the broadcast project never happened, but then at the beginning of the second season, you know, after it had been very successful and they sold it overseas, I you know, revisited the idea with them, and they said, well, you know, HBO this time said, well, we don't want to do a broadcast, but we do want you to do the DVDs. So that's how we got started on it.
I do this podcast that's the Real Deadwood podcast, but now I see that HBO has their own podcast, but it's a video podcast.
Oh, they do?
And really all they're doing is releasing some of the promo stuff that they have like viewable on the website.
Yeah.
And they just are, you know, syndicating it and putting it on iTunes and whatnot and allowing people to download it, you know. So they just, like after one of the episodes the other day, they did the Women of Deadwood.
Look at that. They may be using stuff that we've previously done too. Which we did, you know, the Real Deadwood last year looked at prostitution in Deadwood. We told a little bit of the broader story of women in Deadwood.
Yeah.
You know, they own the rights to all that material, so they decide they want to recut it for podcasts. They have every right to do that.
I think the producer on the set was working on that piece.
Really?
That other guy,
Possible too. Yeah, I mean, they're getting their feet wet. But, you know, I think a lot of the networks are initially very nervous about podcasting. You know, but I think increasingly they're seeing it as more of a promotional opportunity.
Yeah.
But we hope to come back again, depending on what happens with the fourth season. There's going to be some kind of fourth season.
Well, yeah, and even if they do the two TV movies as DVDs, they'll still want supplemental material. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that for the first three seasons they really wanted us to focus much more on historical Deadwood.
Right.
I'm hoping that in the future we'll be able to do a little bit more contemporary Deadwood. You know.
Well, if David decides to end it with the fire, though, that'll be a whole historical episode. There's plenty of photographs and all that stuff to jump back into. No doubt about it.
Nobody knows. Only David knows.
That's right.
Good.